So is heavy bleeding normal? I think it's important first that we basically define heavy. If your periods have changed over time and they've gone, let's say, from 2 days to 4 days or 3 days to 5 days, that's probably all within the normal range. If your periods now last more than 7 days or you're soaking through your clothes, you're afraid to go out because you bleed so heavily, you're afraid that you'll stay in your clothing, that is likely abnormal. And I do see many women in the office at NYU that have very heavy bleeding. And soaking through clothes, soaking through multiple pads or tampons is likely not normal. There are some very benign causes of heavy bleeding that your doctor can identify for you in the office. And they include, number one, fibroid tumors. Fibroids are the most common cause of heavy bleeding in women. About 70% of women have fibroids. They're usually benign tumors, and they can be treated, quite effectively if you come in to see the doctor. Based on the location of the fibroid within the actual uterus, they can cause heavy bleeding. So if they're located in the cavity of the uterus, they actually will cause your periods to be very, very heavy. Sometimes fibroids come along with other symptoms like pelvic pressure or urinary frequency, and you might notice other symptoms if you also have fibroids, but heavy bleeding might be the first sign. Other causes of heavy bleeding can include polyps. Polyps are other benign sort of extra tissue that's found in the uterus itself that by itself can also create abnormalities in your bleeding pattern. So if you're bleeding for greater than 7 days, or if you find that your bleeding has increased over time and your periods are getting longer and longer, especially if they're longer than 7 days, and if you're afraid to go out and do sort of your regular activities, that bleeding is likely abnormal and you should come in to see me in the office.